Good morning. Happy, let me see, Thursday. I'm going to get my nose all ready, breathing in some deliciousness this morning. It smells so good now. All right, good morning. It's Cindy, best-selling author. I get to use that title. Here this morning with our topic of how do I go about buying a dog? And you're like, Cindy, this doesn't sound like your regular topics. Well, I talk about a whole decade of life. And I've had 3 dogs during that decade of life. And I like to do grab bags. So raise your hand, anybody who remembers a grab bag. I'm sure they're called something different now, but a grab bag. I came from the grab bag days. Paper bag, stapled together, put $1 on it, 50 cents or $2. You grabbed it, you bought it, and you had no idea what was in it. It was the best thing in the whole wide world was a grab bag. I saw a store doing it over Christmas, and I was like, I'm going to get Ellie one of those grab bags because grab bags are awesome. All right, but first things first, I'm going to grab some tea. It's still on fire hot. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to hit the subscribe button. You're going to hit the notification bell. You're going to leave a comment, and you're going to share it into social media. You know why? Because you win things, and everybody loves to win things. So go ahead and do that. If you're anywhere else on social media, go ahead and leave a comment. All right. How do I go about buying a dog? I'm going to start out with a story about having when I was younger and talking to my grandma. My grandma never had a pet growing up. Like they never had a dog. They never bought a dog. They never adopted a dog. They never did anything with a dog. But they always had a dog growing up because whatever dog would come from my grandma's front porch, my grandma would feed it. It would never be allowed inside, and it was their dog. But I don't think she'd ever acknowledge that it was their dog. It was just somebody else to feed, and it was companionship when you sat on the front porch because you're always on the front porch because they had no air conditioning. So in the summer, you were outside, so you were not smoldering hot inside. So the question, my view of how do you go about buying a dog? And then I have an aunt that buys fancy cats. Didn't buy fancy cats, but if you wanted some kind of certain cat, before they had all these different rescues of different breeds of things, you went to the pet store and bought one. So my grandma told me one day, she was like, she buys her animals. And I was like, wow, I never realized how much that influenced anybody because I never bought an animal before. Animals have always found me, and I've always rescued and adopted an animal. So it was interesting that something my grandma said when I was very little influenced all the way, because how do you go about buying a dog? You don't. That's my thing. The animals find you. We were talking yesterday on a call, and I was like, oh, they find other people too. And I saw somewhere on social media, they were like, we've been thinking about a dog, and we were thinking about this. And then all of a sudden, this dog shows up at my husband's work. Kind of the exact same kind of dog that they were looking for. I don't believe in coincidences. You already know that if you listen to my channel for any time. I really believe that the dog finds you. And it is. If you think about it, it will find you. Like you look for red cars, you'll find red cars. You look for blue cars, you'll find red cars. But animals really will find you. There's plenty of them out there. There's lots of people during the last 2 years that adopted animals because they realized staying at home all the time was lonely. I said, welcome to the animal club because it is nice. It's always nice to have somebody like a dog or a cat, or in our case, we even went into the realm of hamsters. But I've had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 animals in my life. The first dog I ever came into my life was a German Shepherd that we inherited when my grandpa passed away. And back then, they were all outside dogs. Your dog did not go inside. It was all outside, and you put it in the basement if it was going to be like sub-freezing temperatures. Then I saved my money as probably a young preteen, saved my money, convinced my parents, which is always hard to do, to get a dog. And I went out and adopted. Well, I guess this would be my first chance that I bought a dog. All the dogs were $250, except for this one dog was $50, and I was able to adopt it. Lo and behold, this dog had epilepsy, passed away on our neighbor while she was watching it when we were on a family vacation. And I didn't have that dog for a very long time, and it was a very mean dog. I was like, who sells like an 11-year-old a sick dog? And there's a whole story I can do about that too, that you could find out how you got scammed back before we had professional scammers. Then I had our first German short hair pointer. Then we got her sister, thanks to a neighbor that had a horse. And look, there's all kinds of stories. And then now we're on our last one that you'll see right there. Oh, he's right there. I gotta do this finger. Go this way. Nope, this finger this way. Dusty Dog, right there. You always find him behind me. He keeps us safe from the Amazon delivery drivers at any time. So, my thoughts on how do you go about buying a dog? Well, I guess I said during my story I bought a dog once, and it was not a very good idea because I ended up getting a sick and diseased dog that was known to the people. So that was not very good. But I'm going to end by telling you the two quick stories how, well, I guess it's three quick stories on how our dogs found her. Our three dogs as in my adult life. So Chispa, Allie, and Dusty Dog. All right. My husband used to work at a TV station, and they had that pet corner. Raise your hand if you've ever seen that pet corner where they brought somebody in. Well, our little Chispa doggy was one of the dogs they brought in one morning. And when I got done, my husband says, I'm going to come get that dog right after I get off work today. I'm going to adopt that dog. So our first dog, Chispa, had to escape a puppy mill, had to be found in a field by a farmer, had to be picked up by the Humane Society, had to go on a TV show that my husband was working that day to get adopted. That's how far she traveled. My thing was that dog, I always said if I ever got lost, something happened to me, just let that dog out of the house free, guaranteed to find me. That she was so bonded to me. Then Allie, we have a lady in the neighborhood that walked her dog every night, and everybody noticed it was her dog because she had a Great Dane. Can't forget a very short lady with a Great Dane. It's very fun to see you go for a walk. Well, anyway, she also owned a horse. The feed store where she got her feed at, the people had a stray dog that had puppies under their front porch. And she was like, I think that looks like your dog. So we went to get and adopted the very last. There was 13 of them, and we got the very last one. And then Dusty Dog, we're looking for a dog, trying to see if we wanted to get a dog after the girls passed. Lo and behold, you'll never guess, our favorite beach, Hilton Head Beach, the Humane Society had a German short-hair pointer dog that needed to be adopted. We went to visit him, and we came home, and the rest is history. You literally get to see him every day. The beach dog, they couldn't tell me anything about how he got to the Humane Society at our favorite beach, forced to be adopted by us, but our life has never been the same since. All right, so if you want to join a group with some other crazy dog-loving people and animal-loving people, my Mom's in the Middle group is for you because I know they're there. They love animals too. So the link is in the description of this video. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow for Friday. Bye, everybody.